I never lose, either I win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever it may concern. About to be a hot topic, play with fire, you get burned. Ain't nobody give me nothing, whatever I got, better I earn. I never lose, but I learn. I either win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever.
I just wrote a book with my 5-year-old son. We wrote about the healthy T-Rex and how, kind of giving it to in a way that kids can,
Wow.
T-Rex, the healthy dino. So we actually wrote it in a way, to help kids understand a healthy lifestyle, but in a fun way, where it's, again, not preachy. But the funny thing is, I woke up in the middle of the night and wrote the entire thing on my phone before I went and printed it out. Like, that's how, it was just like all in my head. But the times that it comes to you is when you just don't even think about it.
He was telling me the following morning, it's like, what do you feel about me writing a book, a children's book, about sort of where it's not like just pushing veganism, but where there's maybe like a small bit about it, where it's overall wellness and stuff like meditation and eating better and eating fruits and veggies. And what better way to reach people than reach the kids, the youth? Because us adults, we're hard-headed. We gotta learn the hard way right before it's too late, right after we have a heart attack and we got diabetes or we get our foot cut off and then we wanna maybe this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Strong AF podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Yuri.
And today we have on Janaya, who is just an amazing, amazing soul all around. And she has 2 beautiful boys that, of course, she just wants the best for. And really, she's a woman of many hats, because not only is she a logistics director, but she is also the owner of Vegganers Luck. And she has been since 2016. So, they've gone through some ups and downs, but they've remained strong through everything. And let me tell you from experience, this woman's food is incredible, and we can't wait to hear more about you. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me also.
Of course, we're so glad to finally get you on here. I know that it's been a really busy year, and we've been excited to talk to you more. Like I said, we love your food. It's absolutely incredible, and we can't wait for our listeners to hear more about you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I know that I've been gone. A lot of people have been wondering where I am. So just to start, you guys, I had a beautiful little baby. He's 5 months old now. So you'll see more of me because I mothered him enough.
Well, congratulations. That's a very exciting time. I'm so happy to hear that everything's going well for you, and I'm glad that you're back now and bringing in that wonderful food, especially with VegFest coming up. So that's great to hear.
Thank you.
So tell us more about your journey. Like, how did you decide to go vegan?
Okay, so I always tell people this. It definitely wasn't a decision that I wanted to make. What led me down the vegan trail was one day my brother had cooked some baked chicken. And I just started looking at the skin. I just started looking at the skin of the chicken, and I'm like, I used to eat chicken all the time, fried, baked, whatever. But one day I was just looking at it and I'm like, this looks too, I don't even know the word to describe it. It was just too chicken skinny, if that makes sense. So that was actually the first thing I had cut out. And with me cutting out chicken, it got me to like go in this rabbit hole of what is vegan, what is vegetarian, like the true definition of these things. And like, once I started researching, I started realizing like just the mood swings, the like signs of just up and down depression. A lot of that had to do with the meat that I was eating. So I kind of turned to that and stopped eating meat wholeheartedly. I was going pescatarian. But 2 weeks later, after I started my journey, I got seafood poisoning.
Oh gosh.
So it kind of just like, you know what, I already didn't really eat cheese like that and dairy products too much. So it was like, okay, well, let's just try this vegan thing out. And mind you, it's 2016. So my dad was already vegetarian 17 years of my life. Half the things that I eat now are things that I ate growing up. So once I got into this journey, it became more of a like a self-help journey. It had nothing to do with like the animals or just the reason why people go vegan nowadays. It was more so like, okay, well, I cut this out, I feel better. Let me try this again. So I end up going somewhere to get like a steak burrito. And I didn't feel the effects right away of just like my stomach hurting or anything. It was just like, oh, this is steak, I'm used to it. Later that day, I started realizing like my mood. And I'm like, okay, why am I feeling sad out of the blue? I went running. I lived in California at the time. So sunny LA, like you can't be upset in LA. Like, I don't care what anybody says. The aura there is perfect. But it was just like, how am I, why am I depressed today? Why am I feeling like this? And I haven't felt like that in a long time because I had stopped eating meat. So I started to like record the things that I was eating, or just why did I take these certain foods out? And I realized that it just really became a part of who I was, a person that just, people that know me, I'm very outgoing. But I can say that once I did eat, like found out the real reason why, like some days people have episodes of depression, some days people have episodes of anxiety, and you just never know where they stem from. And I knew that that was the root of my problem. Like, outside of like the childhood traumas, it was like food.
Yeah.
You eat for comfort, you eat for these things, and you don't realize like as these animals are being, slaughtered for whatever reason, they have feelings too. And all that energy, I'm an energy person, so I feel that heavily. So it's just like meat for me is to each its own type of thing. I don't knock people for eating it, but for me, not for me. Yeah.
Well, like you said, with the energy transfer, I mean, it's a scientific fact, right? Energy is not created nor destroyed. It has to be transferred. So that energy is being transferred into your body. And it's what kind of energy do you want to put in there?
Exactly. So like eating clean. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's like you said towards the beginning, where what was it you said you were going pescatarian and then you got the seafood poisoning. That was like the universe just smacking you saying, what are you doing?
So right. So
and now this.
Yeah. So people don't believe me when I say I went cold turkey, and I'm like, it's not because I wanted to be vegan. Like I promise you I didn't. It was just like, okay, girl, you didn't listen the first time. Okay.
Right.
And I remember exactly what I had. I had a shrimp po' boy, and it was so good until halfway in, I started feeling hot. I'm like,
oh no.
Yeah. So that was like the end of it all. And, just like I said, doing that, it kind of brought me on a journey to discover what I liked as a vegan and if I can cook these things, because at that time there weren't many vegan options, not even in LA. Like there weren't many vegan options at all. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I become this vegan vegetarian person when I have no clue? Like I know the things that I ate, but the things that I ate growing up, those were store-bought. Now I'm trying to find restaurants, conveniency. Where can I find this food? And I just started like looking up recipes, started just like, okay, well, if I omit the eggs, if I change the milk, maybe it'll taste like something. And I'll tell you, my first time it was a fail, because I'm like, I can cook for real, but I'm like, vegan it's so hard because of what you're used to. So I started that, and I'm like, okay, well, if I can't cook this stuff, other people can't cook this stuff. And I'm a person that's determined to just, if I can't do it, I'm going to figure out how to do it. And that's really kind of how my business started, but I really wasn't going in that direction either. I just was cooking vegan food just for myself and letting people try it.
What was the first thing you said you tried to cook and you had a fail? What was your first failure?
Oh my gosh, peach cobbler.
Oh,
Yes, and I love peach cobbler. I have a recipe from, it's not even passed down from my family. It's one of my friends, and her grandmother, like, she gave us all the recipe at a young age. So eating that and then trying something else, like, you're omitting certain things that you're used to that make the consistency of something else taste better. So when you're like getting this really doughy bread and you're like, okay, well, maybe I could just, do without. But that was like the first thing I tried. And then I tried making vegan ice cream, which was also a fail because I think since 2016, they've done some upgrades, and the way I made it was elementary school style, bag of ice, shake it up, So those were like the first thing. I have a picture of it and everything still in my phone.
That's awesome. So what made you decide to change from LA to Charlotte and bring that here?
Okay, so I was actually born in New Jersey, but I was raised in Charlotte. So I went to school here. I just happened to leave after college. I wanted to do something different. And I just felt like, being a single person, I had no children at the time, moved to LA and started life. But then, I'm like, okay, well, once I tried going through my vegan journey, I said, you know what, I want to go back to Charlotte because I'm not even sure if I know that ZZ's existed because my dad used to bring me there all the time, but I'm like, I don't really know too many vegan restaurants that are just here that, and when I came back, I just had this idea in my mind, like, okay, I'm going to put colored people for sure just on to vegan food, just eating a healthier lifestyle. And it's just like, let's see where I can go. How far can I go with this? And, I had my first baby, Vegganers Luck. And it was more so of a word of mouth thing. I didn't sell plates. I just cooked food and gave it away. Like, hey, just post this on your Facebook. Let me know if you like it. If it's good, post it. If it's not, don't even tell me it's nasty, but don't post it on anything.
Right.
Yep. And after that, I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is something I can do and get used to. And it just became a thing for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What has been the biggest challenge that you faced through all this?
The biggest challenge. So I think in the beginning, the biggest challenge for me was the support. Nobody ate vegan food around me. So they're like, well, why do you want to do this? Nobody's going to eat that. I even have family like vegan food. And you don't even, most of the time people don't know you're already eating vegan. So it's like, okay, but you put a label on something and they all just like deter you from everything. And that like, it hurt me, but it also gave me the confidence to like, okay, let's see who's really going to eat vegan food. You might not know what it is, but let's see who I can get to eat vegan food. So my support came from the outside, but it was still that like, I really want the people that I love and that I care about to believe in me, because this is something that I know can change your life. I witnessed it firsthand. This changed my life. So I know, maybe not for the same reason, but I know just deep down inside, even if it gets a little, like you flip a little switch, I know that it can change your life. But nobody believed in that but me. So I'm like, okay, trying to balance out, just knowing the value of what you're starting and then being devalued for what you're starting.
Right.
So I think that was like the most difficult for me, was just overcoming that. Okay, nobody believed in me. I'm going to show you that people eat vegan food. I don't know who, but they will.
Right. That's great. And I feel like we can relate so much to that because our family has been the same way, especially on my side. His family is a lot more open to trying new things. My mom, especially, she's like, oh, vegan? No, I'm not trying that. I'm like, okay, but you like sit here and eat watermelon and that's cool. That's vegan.
Right.
Like, like open your mind a little bit, everything's
Right.
not what you think it is. But it's very interesting to have those conversations. And like when we started up our podcast, we were trying to get like our family and friends to listen. And I was like, why are we even focusing on those people? Because that's not our audience. Like they don't even care about what we're talking about right now. So why are we sitting here putting our effort into trying to get them to listen? And now we have countries worldwide that are listening to the podcast, and I can guarantee you none of them are our family. Like once we shifted our focus and we're like, that's not our people, like that's not who we're talking to.
Yeah.
We were able to expand more. So yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, because it became like an obsession. We check, see what cities, what states, and everything. We're like, oh, well, we got family over here. Nobody's listening over here. And then it came, just like you said, just prove everybody wrong. It just kind of became like, well, fuck it. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. There's somebody out here who's wanting to listen. And then you got people in Russia and Africa and Hungary and all these countries. You start looking at it like, oh my goodness, we just started this up because we just wanted our voices to be heard. And then we got people over here across seas who are downloading it constantly. And it's just a wonderful feeling to know that what you believe in, other people care to even listen, or maybe they tell a friend and the word just spreads.
Yeah, and that's the best form of marketing is word of mouth. So, just even the guests that you have, hey guys, look, I'm on Strong AF podcast, and it's like, okay, well, let me see what this is about. Let me just check. And then, even with the titles that you guys have, it's like, well, let me just see what, I watched Julia's podcast this morning and I'm like, I love her. So
yeah, she's such an amazing person.
Yes, she is.
And I love that you brought her up too, because right now with VegFest coming up, we're kind of on a roll with our VegFest guest. So we're trying to really get everybody in because we really want to promote this, because this is an amazing event that's coming up in the Charlotte area, September 17th. And we want to make sure that all of our local listeners are showing up for support. And then anyone who's excited to fly into the Charlotte area or travel to the Charlotte area to also come show that support. And so we're really pushing and promoting all of our VegFest guests in this time frame. So tell us about that and how what you're going to be doing there.
So speaking of VegFest, that's actually how I debuted Vegganers Luck.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So in 2017, I kind of just got on the scene. People were finding me by just people posting pictures of my food. And I came across Julia because we had spoke once, and I had showed her so when we do Vegganers Luck, we do this because it's a V and an L. So she was like, wait a minute, are you a Jedi? I'm like, and that's how we kind of clicked. So Julia actually became a mentor for me. And she really, like, I can say, when I say the support, she really wanted the best for me. Like, just a new vegan person just being on the scene. She was like, okay, get this done, and you can do this. So I was so nervous, never did an event before and didn't know how to cook for hundreds of people. I'm like, okay, well, what is the best dish that I have? What can I do? Like, I'm so nervous. So that day came and I wasn't even ready. The health inspector came. He's like, you don't have this. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to start. I got so nervous and just so down because I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do. My family was running late with my tables. It was just like, so to me, I thought it was like the end of the world, but it actually was the start of my business. So with VegFest, man, people know I came with the chicken and waffles, the vegan chicken and waffles. And that's when I made my staple for my wings. So that's something that you will see at VegFest this year. My wings that everybody are asking for. I got some new recipes, being gone on maternity leave and stuff. I got some good food. I don't want to tell you guys because I'm like so
Yeah,
excited.
don't spill it all. Just,
But like I told
give them
you
that
guys,
teaser.
I will come. I'll come cook in your new kitchen. Just
Yes.
so you can be the taste testers. But I do. I'm so excited to be a part of VegFest again. To be returning because, like we do have a lot of great vegan, other vegan chefs, and I don't consider myself a chef. I consider myself a vegan food creative because I like to create. I cook, but I'm not a chef. I just love what I do. But for those of you who have never been to VegFest, it's bring a lot of money. That's all I can say. Just bring a lot of money. There's a lot of good food and a lot of great vendors there. So don't miss out because I really have something special for everybody. And I just this would be the time to say it, but it's so soon. So I might just drop a menu the day before.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get that out too. We'll share it for you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I remember, I want to say the first time we ran across you, it was probably on maybe Instagram. I don't know if it was me. I'm stalking every kind of page I see, every kind of vegan, plant-based food. It may have been Vegan Vibes or something like that. Ran across it and then started looking like, oh, here's Vegganers Luck. Started looking at the food. Oh my goodness, that looks good. Then started following you, and then there was maybe a day you were doing like a pop-up, and it may have been cheesesteak.
I know without a doubt it was a cheesesteak because I have been craving a cheesesteak, and then you had that, and I was like, we are going. There is no doubt we are going.
Yes. So, okay. Well, that's going to be all right. So that's one thing that's on my menu for VegFest. I'll tell you that, wings and cheesesteak, but I have that the secret. But you'll definitely be getting wings and cheesesteaks at VegFest. So, come check me out. I got you guys.
The only thing I was mad about with that cheesesteak is I didn't order more.
Oh yeah.
I got home and I was like, why did we order so few? I should have gotten double this amount.
And it's only because you're just wait, let me just try it because all vegan food isn't the best vegan food. So, you always want to try something, but I'll tell you what, my business is for meat eaters.
Yeah.
Because I want to test you and see how much, what's stopping you from being vegan, or what's the continuance of eating meat? And if I can make my stuff taste like the real thing, you can't tell me that you can't go vegan.
Yeah,
or even just try to adapt that into your lifestyle. So
I'm curious to know, since that is your target market, have you done research or getting feedback from the meat eaters to see? Okay, so I'm curious to know what their responses are.
So, okay, this is actually real life, in home. So my children's father, he's not a vegan, but he's my biggest taste tester. That's why I said, when you put a label on something, he's like that. He's like, just don't call it vegan, just say this. So with meat eaters, 30% of my clientele are meat eaters. They all just wanted to apply a vegan lifestyle into their lives, just not fully going vegan. So I just kind of perfected the mocks because I want everybody to still eat healthy. And I know that some people are, oh, it's still mock meat. Why do you make it? Because people just want to try something different. So with them, I make my food for all vegans, but for the meat eaters, because they always have the most to say. And I've converted meat eaters plenty of times. Being at festivals, I'll give out samples and they'll end up buying something. So, just knowing that 30% of my clientele are meat eaters, that should tell you something. Just, so.
I don't know what you do to that ham, but that ham that we have for Christmas, because that was one of my other favorites, and I had not found a good imitation of the ham that I was used to, and that was what I loved having, especially at holidays. And then I had that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so good.
It tastes exactly like the real thing.
Yes.
And
we were on our way to the beach,
Mhm.
and we opened it and we seen what it was. We was like, we got to pull over. We got to eat this now. This isn't making it to South Carolina. And I remember
yeah.
that may have been the first thing I tasted. I tasted like, oh,
Mhm.
Yeah. So the crazy story, I didn't grow up eating ham like that. So I just like, for me to, it's all about the people that I know. Like I literally talk to people all the time and see what they like. And then I just create the vegan version of it and have you try it. So the ham, it's like that going, like moving forward with Beginner's Luck, just even me making a comeback. This is actually a perfect time just to tell everyone that I'm actually coming out with a mock meat line. So the ham,
Wow.
yeah. Yep. So the ham is definitely going to be a seller, especially for holidays.
Yeah.
That's been like a big request, even outside of like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, you know, I just want to cater to my people, man. Just you guys.
Congratulations. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love all the big accomplishments, especially coming out of maternity leave. I don't know if a lot of people that haven't been through it don't, really understand. But a lot of times when you have a child, the way that people look at you, especially from the male perspective, is, oh, well, she's not going to be able to do a lot anymore. She's a mom, right? And look at you coming out here, coming back even better, creating your new
Yes.
line. Like, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
absolutely incredible. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I tell you what, my kids are, they always ask like, what's your motivation? And I tell you, like, my kids are my second motivation. I'm my first, because without me being able to move forward, how can I just pour into them? So, they drive me, but I have to drive myself, especially as a mom. Like, men and women are totally different. We're wired differently. So when it comes to like parenting, it's like, okay, they're not going to let mom go. Dad is dad. You say, stop. They stop.
Right.
Mom says stop. You like, stop. Why can't you guys?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, but even with that, it's like my kids, my son, my oldest, he's 3, and he pushes me so hard because he wants to cook when I cook. So it's like, okay, when I'm not cooking, he's like, well, what you doing, mommy? You're not working? And I'm like, but I am working. I'm just on the computer with my other business. He's like, no, you're not cooking. So a lot of that, he's definitely a major push for me.
That's awesome. That's so great. It's amazing how much they pick up. Like we'll go when we were coming home tonight from YJ's football practice, and our oldest, he had football practice tonight, and they were like, all right, mommy, so I guess we got to go to bed because you have a podcast interview, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yep, it's how I'm sorry, baby, but tomorrow you can stay up.
Right, exactly.
So
but I love how they, it's really cool. And one of the biggest things, like, we have this business, but I do also work full time as well. And so, but I work from home, which is really cool because I feel like I'm able to do so much more with them. But also, they see everything that I go through, and it's not just like mommy goes to work, mommy comes home. No, they're like, I know mommy works hard because I see her in there. I hear her on meetings, you know what I mean? So like they understand like what actually goes into it. And I'm able to teach them a little bit more about what, time management and work ethic and budgeting and things like that, because they actually see kind of like what I go through.
Absolutely. Yep. And I can definitely attest for that too, because I'm a work from home mom. So it's like when it can be annoying. So everyone that thinks that staying at home mom is cool, it can be, but if you're a work from home mom,
it's got pros and cons, that's for sure.
So
it sounds good, but it's hard.
It is.
For your 3-year-old, does he eat plant-based as well? Or?
He does. So he does. He just me being pregnant alone and just not eating meat, he doesn't care for it. Like he's had it. He's had chicken, he's had steak, because his dad eats it. So he's going to do what his dad does. He'll just chew it up and just the flavor, and everything else, he'll spit the whole thing out. He just chews the flavor and spits it out. But he's really like, I don't want meat today. I want fruit. Like he'll eat fruit all day if I let him. But he doesn't know that it's plant-based. He's always like, what? Vegan chicken? Like his dad says that. So he doesn't have no idea, but he eats it.
Yeah.
So, it's really cute to me because it's like, you have no idea, but you love this stuff. And I'm so happy because I want you to be like this. I want you to grow up this way. Even if you change your mind later, I want to say that I introduced you to a healthy lifestyle at an early age. So
yeah, most definitely. We just had a doctor's appointment for our son today, and our middle kid was telling her about like all the sports he plays, and she's like, well, you better be sure that you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables to grow big and strong. He said, I'm vegan, that's all I eat is fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and as a kid they start getting witty and you're like,
yeah.
So I get that.
That's one thing about our kids, our 3-year-old and our 5-year-old. They pretty much get away with saying anything to me because it was what was it?
It was YJ's birthday, I think.
No, I don't think it was his.
I don't know. It was one of their birthdays.
It was our 5-year-old's birthday, I think. And everybody was over, we was eating, and our 3-year-old looked at his Nana, was like, you're not eating? She like, I ate before I came. He was like, what'd you have? She was like, what'd they have, like chicken or something? She was like, you eat chicken? But that's an animal. Why do you eat animals?
Yep. Nope, I know, and it's to some, this might be like kind of, gruesome, but I actually sat down with my 3-year-old and we watched a chicken get slaughtered. And I let him know, like, hey, this is real life. This is what daddy eats. This is
right.
So, but not even that, just to show you, like, he when I showed him how a pig got slaughtered, he cried because he's like, why are they hurting? He doesn't know any better. He just knows that they're hurting the animal. And I'm like, see, and that's why I don't eat meat, because look, that's sad.
Right.
So, for me, I think not a manipulative parent, I swear I'm not, but just to get him to understand the little things, I want him to see that, because this day and age, children are growing up way faster.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I feel like we're very open with our kids too. Maybe I'm a little too open with my kids sometimes, but when they ask questions, I want them to understand, because one of my biggest things about anything, religion, politics, food, whatever, I want you to be able to make your own decision. Like, I want to give you facts, and then I want you to make your decision based on what you know, not just what you hear or see on a TV show or whatever. I want to give you the facts and then let you form your own opinion. And so that's one of my biggest things that I do across the board. And so I feel like I am maybe a little too open at times, but I'm very open with my kids. But
I think it's better to hear it from you than somebody else. So that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it definitely leads to some interesting conversations when we're with my more conservative side of the family. But it's all good. Nice to have some conversations.
Kids are going to remain
these conversations
kids.
Something else. Because I remember me being the masculine energy in the house. I feel it's my job to like bring in the knowledge, education, and stuff like that. Because it could be something spiritual or some ancient history we learned about where they took this and made this into a certain part of religion or in the Bible. And me listening to it or telling Ashley about it and not knowing that they're picking up on any and everything, where we're out with her family and we're about to eat or whatever, and then her mom says a prayer or whatever, and then my 5-year-old, no, don't say amen, don't say amen, don't say amen. Amen's not bad. Amen's bad. Amen's bad. It's this and that, and we're like, Ashley freaking out like let's not do this.
Because you can see like my mom's eyes start bulging out of her head, and I'm like, we'll have this conversation later. We're here for my sister's birthday. Let's just not do it right now.
I'm just sitting there like, go
Yeah.
son. Go son. You pick, tell
Right.
him.
It's like you want to like,
he's not wrong.
you
So
like,
go ahead.
good job, son, but just not right now, you know.
Right.
But I feel that too, because I'm always like, my son is homeschooled, never been to daycare. You know, we teach him all the history. He knows, you know, God is in you. You know what I mean? That is you. Like we go over things like that too, because it's like, I just want him to have an identity or just even know things before he knows who he truly is.
Yes.
And you can take what you want from what you've learned to apply it to your life. But I'm going to tell you what I believe, and this is what I believe. So,
Exactly.
you know, all of that, you know, you might tell everybody in the family what, you know, you don't say that, but if you don't, then that's your decision later down the line.
Right.
You know, your kids are a reflection of you. So they teach you things that you didn't even know that you needed.
Exactly. Yeah, we homeschool too, so they're definitely very influenced by everything going on. But I think it's also really wonderful because it's something that I didn't get to see, you know, when I was off at work and they were in school, and I felt like I missed a lot of that with my oldest YJ. And then when the pandemic started happening and there was the online school and everything, you know, I was watching the classes, even after they integrated back into the classroom, they were allowed to do hybrid, like they could choose to be in class or online.
Right.
And we kept him online for a little bit. And I was like watching what the class was, and I'm like, she talked for like 10 minutes, you know? And he was like, no, that's it. The rest of the time they're doing classwork. And I was like, huh. I was like, well, I feel like maybe we could, you know, pull you out and teach you some more. So, you know, by doing that, like he's 2 grades ahead. He is taking a lot of coding and computer science classes because he's very interested in engineering, and he wants to create video games when he gets older. So, you know, we're like trying to put him in pathways that he's actually interested in, and it makes it something that he's a lot more focused on. Plus the fact that he's very athletic, and so now he's able to do a lot more sports and athletics that he wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think it's not for everyone, and I definitely don't, you know, want to put anybody down that doesn't choose that way. But I think it's been a great benefit and a great option for our family and for them.
Right. And then like just even like we talk about incorporating the vegan food, it's like at lunch, you know what you're getting here at home.
Yes,
you don't know
exactly.
what they're eating or whoever's serving them. And it's just like, okay, but I know like I feel you on the just them being ahead, being homeschooled, because you know, school only gets you ready for the next grade.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have them advanced, he'll be creating video games way before way before he knows they'll be creating video games. So.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't even realize that we had so much in common. So this has been a really great conversation. But before we go, I want to know, where do you get your strength from?
So it comes from multiple sources. Of course, you know, having that higher power, that higher knowledge, you are your own strength. So, you know, you have to push yourself. Nobody's going to do anything for you. So I definitely know that. And just believing that there is a higher power, believing that my creator, just what's for me is for me. So I know that even if I try to, you know, go astray from even the vegan path, I've tried it. There's no way, like, you know, spirit will tell you, hey, no, this is what you're supposed to do. Whether you think you're helping people or not, you're really doing something. So, you know, just that, and my children, my son's, like my kid's father, like, honestly, because I'm so hard on myself, like I will make something that somebody might think is perfect and I'll crumble it up and throw it away because I'm like, okay, no, this is not, to me, it's not. But he's like, no, you can't criticize yourself because what you think is trash is somebody else's treasure. So you have to keep going no matter what. And I think that he definitely plays a major role. He forces me to cook when I don't want to, because cooking is my happy place. So it's like, you know, those days that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I want some vegan pork chops, or, you know, he'll challenge me to create something. And I'm like, well, I'll sit there, think about it. And I'm like, well, I'll be back. I'm going to go to the store and then I'll come, you know, and that's where I get a lot of just recipes for everyone else, because it's like, okay, well, if he likes this, I know that, you know, other people will like it. So, you know, the higher power, my children's father is like, and myself, that's like my biggest push. Number one is God. Number two is me. So it's like, you know, without myself, I really wouldn't be here. Like if I didn't push myself to keep going.
I love it. That's absolutely beautiful. And I think that this has been an amazing conversation. Be sure to let all of our listeners know, aside from VegFest, September 17th in Charlotte, where else can they find you?
So we will be doing a streetwear event with Vegan Vibe Music Series. That will be September 10th and the 11th. VegFest on the 17th of September. And we're thinking about getting into Veltri wine and vegan on the 18th. So yeah, you'll probably see us back to back. Yeah. And we just kind of we're in the process of snagging a little kitchen location, so I'll be able to do pickups on the weekend and everything. I want to come back and, you know, cater to you guys, because that's what I love. So, you know, once if you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I post everything. Vegganers Luck. If you don't follow me there, you will probably see nothing. That's my biggest marketing right there. You know, so yep, I do have a couple events in September, and I'm looking to get back regularly into cooking on the weekend. So you will definitely see more of that.
Okay, great. Everybody be sure to go check her out, Vegganers Luck, and cannot wait to see everything that's coming your way. So exciting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Strong AF podcast. We hope you really enjoyed this episode.
Just do us a favor, go on the Apple Podcast, leave us a 5-star review, let us know how you enjoyed the episode. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just drop us a couple comments. We love hearing from you guys.
Yeah, we always love hearing your feedback, and let us know what you'd like to hear more of as well.